The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Glory to you, O Lord. This is how Jesus Christ came to be born. His mother Mary was betrothed to Joseph. But before they came to live together, she was found to be with child through the Holy Spirit. Her husband Joseph, being a man of honor and wanting to spare her publicity, decided to divorce her informally. He had made up his mind to do this when the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream and said, "Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary home as your wife, because she has conceived what is in her by the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son, and you must name him Jesus, because he is the one who is to save his people from their sins." Now all this took place to fulfill the words spoken by the Lord through the prophet. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, a name which means God is with us. When Joseph woke up, he did what the angel of the Lord had told him to do. He took his wife to his home. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
We are just a few days into the year of St. Joseph, and today's Gospel perhaps can add to the few descriptions of this humble man. I dare say that what has become known popularly as the Cherry Tree Carol doesn't give us a true picture of Joseph. Now Joseph was an old man, and old man was he. That almost decides, when we listen to it, that he's not capable, he can't make a decision, he doesn't know what to do, he's helpless. So I'm not sure the research that the composer may have done in that American Cherry Tree Carol, but today we find different evidence of a man who could have felt sorry for himself, faced with this difficult situation that could become public and would have public consequences for Mary. She could have been stoned to death. And look at what Joseph does instead. He does not give in to self-pity. He does not find himself giving in to all of the questions that could come in a difficult situation, like, Lord, why me? Lord, I'm angry with you. What am I to do now? And all of the obvious, helpless questions that do come with difficult situations. Instead, his first concern was to spare her publicity, because he knew that if he spared her publicity, he would spare her being stoned as well. And he decided to divorce her informally. So even if he would do a divorce, he would not do so publicly. He would do so informally. But he was already thinking, deciding. He was not allowing the situation to create havoc in his life. I believe that in life, difficult decisions are sometimes influenced by the hysteria that comes with it, or the depression that comes with it, the helplessness or the drama that could be a reaction to the situation, almost like the manic and the depressive. Instead, he does not give in to those very emotions and feelings that could get the better of him. He thinks of her. He's very tender in that regard, to be so concerned about her. Her fragility, of course. He's gentle in his decision-making. And then the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream and reassures him, God is in the details. She conceived through the Holy Spirit. And your son will be called Jesus, because he has to save his people from their sins. He will be called Emmanuel. Yes, Joseph, what you are beholding today was already foretold in the prophet Isaiah. So once the angel puts things into perspective, once the angel is able to assure Joseph of the divine intervention, the divine element of the birthday of this baby who will be born in really, really messy circumstances. The straw was not as beautiful and hygienic as the wonderful creche on your left and on my right. This Christmas, as we are in the fast approaching days towards Christmas, could we find a creche like this one, another one, a Christmas carol, a parang tune? Bite into the beautiful, tender, and juicy ingredients of a pastel. Don't bother with if the lady put too much pepper this time. Recognize that in the juicy ingredients, that God gives us little gems in the middle of struggle, in the middle of hopelessness. Imagine the homes, the towns close to Guiria, where 11 were drowned so tragically and so sad. It is, yes, one of the things we do humanly when we cannot face, when we cannot find hope, to blame, and anger takes over. But you know what? Jesus came from a very messy family tree of Joseph, filled with brigands, prostitutes, and others. But God allowed this baby to be born. He came as the baby in a messy family tree, because he comes again and again in unhygienic straw. He comes again and again in the struggles of a world that tries to cope, not the least of it, the pandemic. So let's believe today that Joseph among us will teach us to find the gems among the difficult straw, the messy circumstances, the noise and the din of a busy Bethlehem, an overcrowded town with lots of people clustering unhealthily, no masks,